All right, time for this week's Health Watch, and as always, we're joined by Dr. Syed Hussain from Trinity Health of New England to talk about all the trending topics. And boy, we got one. Not surprisingly, this one's on TikTok, and for me, that's usually red flags number 1, 2, and 3. Curious to see, though, what the expert says. First of all, good morning.
Morning, Tim.
Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, facial fitness gum. I had not heard about this until I saw it on a news program yesterday. There are certain brands of hard gum being sold to young men, even teenage boys, claiming to help strengthen the jawline, make it a little more masculine and therefore a little more attractive. I think the first thing to take away from this, if you haven't heard about it before, is that it looks like young boys are just as susceptible to maybe unrealistic beauty standards, just like young girls are. Maybe not just as, but they are susceptible, and it seems to be a growing industry.
It is, Tim, and it's all linked to social media.
Yep.
So it comes back to that.
Yep.
So like you said, this is a new fad on TikTok. We've seen such strange things take off in the past, such as cooking chicken and NyQuil, for instance. We saw that. Yes. So this is basically, as you mentioned, targeted mostly at males who are looking for that chiseled jawline.
Yeah.
And there are a few actually, gum companies that are marketing now gum, anywhere from $2 to $10 for a pack of gum that basically you can they claim you chew and it would improve your muscles, masseter muscle, for instance, gum muscles to get that so-called chiseled jawline. What I can tell you from a scientific angle, it's flimsy, the evidence.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of research out there. Don't fall for this. The American Dental Association basically says there's not enough evidence to prove this, and in fact may actually lead to harm, may cause inflammation and jaw pain in teenagers.
Yeah, and jaw pain like TMJ, temporomandibular joint pain, that can be really debilitating.
Yes,
I've known some people who have suffered from it.
That's right.
And it looks like this is part of a larger trend of what they're calling looks maxing.
That's right.
That's circulating online.
Yep.
So this is not going to be the first flimsy trend that's out there. What can parents do to help young boys be more confident in their appearance?
Yeah, you know, I track it back to social media. Again, it's back in the news. The Surgeon General just announced that there should be, a warning attached to some use of social media. So there's a lot of debate and discussion in the medical community around this. But, doing things that we know, it's summertime. Get outdoors, go for a trip, do things that, involve people and interaction and away from social media, away from this, this trend of what's new, how do I change my looks? There is no shortcut. Go to the gym, have a good diet, get some good sleep. The basics is what I would focus on.
There's nothing wrong with improving your physical health and your muscle mass to look better.
But there are no
better.
Shortcuts, though.
Correct.
Tim.
Correct. And you don't need to do it with your jaw.
Right.
All right, let's talk about your gut. People sometimes call it the second brain, which sounds a little counterintuitive, but there's been studies that show what they call your gut microbiome, what kind of microbes that are in your stomach can influence all sorts of things, including how you handle stress and your resilience to it. What do we know with this? I mean, I imagine there's a growing body of evidence.
Yeah, and viewers may be aware that we say something, maybe gut-wrenching or I'm having butterflies in my stomach. It's all linked to this. There are a number of pathways where the gut interacts with the brain and vice versa. It's like a two-way highway.
Yes.
Whether it's the vagus nerve that supplies, that has innervation from the brain to the gut, or the microbiome. So this study in particular looked at gut microbiome. That's little bacteria that we all have in our gut.
Yeah.
And in some cases, in people who respond well to stress, for instance, are resilient in the face of stress, the study linked that to a better gut biome. So bacteria that may be more anti-inflammatory, not have a quote-unquote leaky barrier, a gut barrier. Okay. So very, very interesting. It requires more research.
Right.
There's, potentially there might be biomarkers or treatment down the line, but it does require more research, and it is quite interesting.
It is, and not just a little bit disgusting too. That's the first time I've heard of leaky barrier talking about gut microbiomes. But yeah, it's an emerging field of study, something I'm going to be very interested to see what they can figure out over the next 10, 20, 30 years. All right, Doctor, thank you so much for joining us today. There we go. Got through 2 topics, guys, and we'll go through a couple more next week.